Ryan says, motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. Welcome to the 10-Minute Sales Talk podcast with Terry Cameron. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Reach out to me at the number 10-Minute Sales Talk at hot.rr.com. Ask me anything. I'll do my best to answer it for you. Also, if you think there's anybody that might be interested in listening to what I have to say, maybe I can help them out also. Point them in my direction. I sure would appreciate it. And if you have the time, hop on over to iTunes and go ahead and give me that 5-star review. I sure would appreciate it. Let's get started today with the sales process. We've talked a lot about getting ready to sell cars and why you should buy into selling cars, but we really haven't talked about the actual process. Now, I've heard several other podcasts and other trainers that talk about the step to the sale or the road to the sale. And they have anywhere from 6 to 10, hell, I've even heard 14 steps to the sale. Now, I agree there are some steps that are after the sale, but up to the point of selling the car, let's not try to make it too difficult. I want to talk to you about 4 steps to the sale. Now, these 4 steps are what I call the major steps. And inside these major steps, there are some little minor steps or minor tasks or skills that you have to learn. It starts out with the meet and greet. Now, a lot of people don't take this as serious as they should. And it really is a shame because of all the trainers that I've talked to, worked with, and listened to, every one of them say this is the most important step in the sale. This is a skill you have to learn. I recently came from a large dealership that sold 600 to 700 cars each month, and we had 50 to 60 salespeople that I trained. And I would ask them about this step, about the meet and greet. And we went over the word track for it, and I'll do that for you here in just a second. And I asked them how long they thought it would take for them to master that skill. And when I say master, I mean it comes rolling off your tongue like it's second nature. And I got anywhere from 5 minutes to 4 hours. But by the end of the week, and after about 5 or 6 hours of role play, they still didn't have it. Now, the 4 steps that we're going to talk about over the next several episodes are the meet and greet. And then I like to combine building rapport and investigating into another step. And then the presentation, and then the demonstration. After that, of course, comes the close. And what I'd like to tell you is if you do everything right up to that point, the closing is the easy part. So let's not spend so much time on that because it doesn't matter. It's not going to work anyway. You're not going to sell them a car and you're not going to close them if you didn't do the other steps correctly. So normally a customer comes on the lot and they're greeted with some form of fashion of how can I help you? How may I be of assistance? Well, one of the statistics that I didn't mention in the last episode is 72% of all customers say they're just looking when they get on the lot. Now, we know that's not true because 78 or 80% of them are going to buy within a week. So we know they're not just looking. I'm willing to bet that 72% of salespeople ask, how can I help you when the customer comes on the lot? Well, that's a bad way to start with, I'm just looking. So let me give you this word track and let's talk about it a little bit. First things first, remember why they're there in the first place. To buy the car. They made a decision. Something happened in their life and now they're out here looking to buy a car. So, customer walks up to you, or better yet, you walk up to the customer with a big smile on your face, as if you're happy that they're there, and you should be happy that they're there. The word track should go something like this. Welcome to ABC Motors. My name is Terry, and yours is? Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson. Before we get started, I just need to let you know what my job is, and that's just to help you find the car that meets your wants and needs, give you a really good presentation and a quality demonstration ride. When we get back from that, my manager will help us finalize the process. Fair enough? They usually say yes. And I said, well, great. What type of vehicle are you here to drive today? A car, truck, or an SUV? Now, I'm going to tell you what happens right there. First of all, you're greeting them in a way that they weren't expecting. They were expecting the old school salesperson with, how can I help you? Remember, the one they don't want to deal with, the one they don't want to mess around with. They want to get through that and to the sale as soon as possible, or they want to go somewhere else. So you greeted them professionally in a way that they weren't expecting. Their defenses come down. They feel as though they're really got lucky and they found that salesperson that they don't mind working with. So when their defenses come down, they smile. There's a big weight off of their shoulders. You explain to them what your job is. Remember, help them find the car that meets their wants or needs, or the wants and needs, to give them a very good presentation and a quality demonstration ride. When we get back, my manager will finalize the process. What type of vehicle are you here to drive today? Not look at today, but drive today. Make sure you end with an either or question. And in this case, it's a car, truck, or SUV. Now, you still may get the customer every once in a while that says, I'm just looking. And we don't want to attack that customer with, really, what are you looking for? When are you going to be in the market? Those type of things. We want to diffuse this. This is not an objection. It's just a customer responding the way they always thought they had to respond, if that makes sense. The customer's not objecting. This is just how they're programmed to answer. So no problem. Let's take that and turn it into something positive. And the way I like to talk to a customer that gives me that, I'm just looking, is this. Well, great. That takes the pressure off of both of us then. I don't have to worry about selling you a car. You don't have to worry about buying a car. But here's what I can do for you, Mr. Customer. I can share with you my inventory. I can answer any questions that you might have. And hell, if you come across one that you're interested in, maybe we can do business then when you're ready. How's that sound? Now you tell me. What I always like to tell my salespeople is close your eyes, put yourself in that customer's position, and see yourself being greeted like that. Not the old smoking, joking, spitting, how can I help you, salesperson, but the professional salesperson. Remember, their defenses come down. And what happens a lot at this time is the customer says, well, I'm here to see that vehicle. They point at the one that you're interested in. They might even tell you the stock number. They know this. They did their research online. So greeting them professionally brings down their defenses. It opens them up for the next step, which is the rapport building. You really can't get to the next step successfully without completing the first step, the meet and greet, properly. So let's go over this one more time. Customer is on the lot. Salesperson walks up to them. Welcome to ABC Motors. My name is Terry, and you are? Well, welcome to the dealership, Mr. Jones. Before we get started, I'd like to let you know what my job is, and that's to help you find the vehicle that meets your wants and needs, give you a very good presentation and a quality demonstration ride. When we get back, my manager is going to help us finalize that process. Fair enough? Now, with that in mind, what type of vehicle are you here to drive today? A car, truck, or an SUV? And you're off and running. Now, if by the slight chance they do say they just want to look around, you move on to the next part, which is, hey, no problem. We have customers come to our dealership every day just looking. We like to call that their information visit. That takes the pressure off both of us also. I don't have to worry about selling you a car. You don't have to worry about buying a car. But what I can do is share with you my inventory, answer any questions that you might have, and if we come across the car or truck that you're interested in, maybe we can do business then when you want to, not me. How's that sound? Again, close your eyes and put yourself in a customer's position. It's almost impossible not to say, well, great, thanks, let's do it. And you're off to the races. Well, I crammed a lot into this episode, but none of this works if you don't practice. Practice, practice, practice. You have to get it again to where it's natural, just coming off your tongue like it's supposed to come off your tongue. You got plenty of time on your way to work this morning. Practice this several times. The next episode, we're going to talk about what happens after the meet and greet. But before we go, I want to remind you guys once again to please hop on over to iTunes. Give me that 5-star review. Practice, drill, and rehearse, and become a master at this very first task. You master this task, and the next one will be even easier. So, remember, the sky's the limit. I'll see you next week.